Palace, who
the fuck are Palace?
Good evening, guys. Good evening. It's 8 o'clock. It's on Tuesday, and that only means one thing. It's the Chat with Chaps midweek live show with your host, Joe Zampa. And today, as always, every week, we've got a fantastic lineup of panelists for you. So without further ado, I'm going to go to my left. Wrong way. Left is the one and only Paul Donovan. How you doing, Paul?
I'm good, but you pointed the right way the first time.
Did I?
Yeah. That's the right way. That's the wrong way.
You know what? On my screen, it's the other way. I don't know why. Yeah.
Right.
Oh well.
But no, you're right. you got it right. I'm all good, mate. Thank you. I'm all good.
You're
good. A lot better.
Excellent, good stuff. And then underneath yourself, I was going to say below you there, but you always pull me on that one. So underneath
Hold on,
you,
that don't sound any better.
No. Well, you're on top, aren't you? You like being on top.
I'm on top. I'm not pulling you.
All right, okay. All right, okay. Right. Somewhere down there is the guy fresh from the Leeds game that you ought to go and watch on Saturday. Disco. It's one and only Disco. Steve, how you doing, Disco? You all right?
Yeah. Evening, Joe. Evening, boys. I'm getting used to this every week. Now I've got two men on top of me. Normally it's one, but two this week. They're queuing up. They're queuing up. I feel like what's that woman's name? Who Betty Blue? What is she?
Betty Boo?
Is it, no, the girl who's shagging all the men, 100 men, 1,000 men.
Not Bonnie.
Oh right, yeah, I don't know.
Bonnie Blue.
I know, I've seen it.
I'm Stevie Blue.
and then down there, spooning you, Disco, is our Danish correspondent all the way from Denmark. Is one and only Jesper. How you doing, Jesper? You all right?
Yeah, I'm really good, thank you. It's been a very good few weeks, and
Jesper's thinking, what the fuck is going on here?
I know, but Steve has been filling in, perfectly for you, Joe. So everyone wants a piece of the pie now, and I thought he's coming on tonight, and I want as well. So yeah, here I am.
Excellent, good stuff.
To see you guys.
Good to have you guys on. It's going to be a tasty show today. So today we've got a few things to discuss. Obviously, we've got the Leeds game we want to talk about, which is a fantastic performance from our boys. We want to sort of just touch on a little bit on the FA Cup fifth round draw with the Nigels. We'll discuss some injury updates. We want to look at the club developments, the acquisition of Calmont Road, obviously what the future holds now for West Kingsdown. We will discuss the upcoming fixture, Plymouth, away tomorrow night. And then, of course, we'll end it off with a couple of conversation in the chat. We've got a question for you in the chat, which we'd quite like you to answer at the end. So make sure you stay with us. Before we move on, if you haven't subscribed the channel yet, please do so. As you know by now, everything we make for this channel goes to Cancer Research UK. So by you liking, subscribing, and all that sort of stuff helps with the algorithms. It helps us promote the channel and get more money for charity, of course, So, first of all, let's start with you, Paul, before you doze off there, mate. You're looking too comfortable. What did you make of the performance on Saturday? 2-0 win against Leeds?
It was brilliant. And the fact that it seemed so comfortable, I'm still not used to it as a Millwall fan. 2-0 up with a 10-15 minutes to go. And when they get the penalty that weren't a penalty, I think that's when I think, right, here we go. Now I know what's coming. And then the fact that we saved it and kind of they didn't look like scoring, did they, apart from that? So, yeah, it's just nice watching us. I love the way we're passing the ball about, patterns of play and stuff. It's all positive, my mate. It's nice to come on and be positive.
Definitely. And before we go to Disco Blow, I just want to go to the chat very quickly. Apologies, chat. I must apologise. I didn't say hello to you. I've seen the comments all coming through now. So first of all, number one is Cole Bracey. Evening, Cole. How you doing? Disco. Jeff, how are you, mate? Cheers for joining us. Alex S, bang on time. Well done, mate. You're definitely improving. There's new resolutions kicking in, doing really well. Jeff, good seeing you, mate. Friend of the show, Jeff. Thank you very much, mate, for joining us. Leslie, good seeing you. Wall Lion, good to see you as well. Bring on the world. Everybody knows we're called Millwall. Certainly some confidence coming through us at the moment. Chris Brown, how you doing, Chris? Exactly, mate. Who the fuck are Palace? Exactly. Colin, good to see you, mate. Thanks for being with us. All right, Gary, hope you're well. Hello, Miles. Hello, Simon. Exactly.
Wow,
Husey. I feel a bit of smoky music would be good tonight, chaps. Disco. Well, be gentle, as I have a bit of man flu. That's terrible. You saw what happened to Angelo last time he had a bit of man flu. Jesus Christ. Yeah, he was on a life support machine, wasn't he, for at least 2 weeks. Once came out the coma, he through, but it was really touch and go, wasn't it? Richard, evening. How are you, mate? Good for you to join us. Like, subscribe, people. Don't be a Nigel. Don't be a Nigel. Let's make sure we subscribe, guys. Get on it. Mark Murphy, good evening. Connor, good evening. Bobby, how you doing, mate? Bobby T, evening, guys. Hope you well. Bobby loved your Who Are You with the other pod there, mate. That's fantastic, mate. Really good. Enjoy that. John Parr, hope you well, mate. Did anyone see Nigel's with their watching the party? Yes. When they actually got the announcement for the draw, didn't they? They celebrated like, it was like their cup final, wasn't it? Unbelievable. Question pound FA Cup win or last minute playoff winner at Wembley. I think you have to go for a playoff winner, wouldn't you say, guys?
Playoff. Yeah, playoff.
100%.
Yeah.
Excellent one, Forest nil. Roslyn, how are you? Good for you to join us. Alex, honourable mentions for Roberts, Harding, and obviously Aziz. Yes, we will touch on player performances in a moment, definitely. Don't worry about that. Harry Mason, how are you, Harry? Good to see you. John Parsons, apparently Bradshaw's fucked his knee ligaments. Could be out for the season.
Mate.
Oh, my God. You couldn't make it up, could you? Unbelievable. Poxy ref Gavin Warner Saturday. Yeah, I'm sure we'll be touching about him as well in a minute. GC London, how are you, mate? And is that? Oh, we got Alex says, who's going to put SA in the stands? My money's on Savile. Exactly. And then Ian Jets born free, die free. Good to see you. Did you guys see the meme thing with Tanganga holding the older essay in a harness now? That's a new one going around, isn't it? But yeah, go back to yourself, Disco. You were there on Saturday. What did you make of the performance?
Oh, excellent, Joe. Listen, great atmosphere from the Millwall fans. Leeds were very quiet, surprisingly, but that was the team kept them quiet. It looked really good performance. I'm trying to keep a bit of a lid on it and not get too carried away too early. But you can't help but watch a performance like that and think we are becoming, we're on the road to being the real deal. There wasn't one player who was poor. A few were bloody excellent, as we'll come on to. But let's think about it, to go to Leeds and win, as Paul says, quite comfortably, really. You're nervous watching the game because you're obviously on edge and the penalty away from it, going against you. But we never really looked in doubt. We really managed that game well and were very, very worthy winners. Ain't many times we've gone to Leeds and can say that.
Yeah. I think the first half in particular, I think even the commentators were saying that Mill got the most possession, which is incredible, really. And I think second half, we're going to sit back, aren't we? We're going to let them come at us, and I think you're going to give away possession. Overall, I think they had more possession than we did, but I don't think we were ever really troubled. I mean, apart from the penalty and stuff, we didn't look we were struggling. How about yourself, Just? What do you think about the performance?
I was really nervous going into this one because I thought, where are we actually? We had Camille Neckley in as well. First game, Ellen Road. What a baptism of fire, or how do you say it? It was. So a bit nervous about that one, but as Paul and Steve said, we looked so comfortable in the first half and how we approached the game, how aggressive we were, and how we pressed them in their own half as well. I've never seen us do that at Ellen Road before, ever. And I think second half, we've, towards the end of the game, you want to see the game out, but then you just see the different in levels as well. The players they bring on in Firpo and Piro and Solomon and God knows what they have on the bench, and we start bringing on Watmore and Honeyman, and that's no disrespect, but you just see the levels rising from the other team, whereas we sort of struggling a little bit to hold on to the ball at the end, but we did ever so well, and we deserved it. To go through to the fifth round. Definitely.
Absolutely. And as you mentioned, it was a baptism of fire for Camille Neckley, and I thought he played really well considering it's his first game in English football, first game in the Championship. You're playing away to Leeds, Jesper, in the FA Cup. I mean, just going through some honourable mentions, players we want to mention. I know think Disco was talking about Kasper afterwards, but starting with you, what do you make of Negley's performance and his debut for us?
I thought he was excellent. I mean, as excellent as you can be on a debut at Ellen Road. I thought he looked very comfortable on the ball. Every time he received it, he didn't panic. He looked up, took a touch when he needed to, made the simple passes, got into some really good positions. If Femi had looked up when he hit the bar, he could have played him in maybe for his first goal. These are small margins, but I think overall he had a really good debut. I think he needs to adjust maybe to the physicality of the league, but I don't think it will take long for him. You can definitely see there's a player in there, and I'm really excited to see what he can bring to the team, not only towards the back of this season, but also the next season and the seasons going forward. Looks good.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. I was equally impressed with him. I just loved it. I thought he was that level above. You see the calmness on the ball, didn't you, Jesper? He was very composed. He knew exactly what he wanted to do with the ball. He was almost like 2 steps ahead in his brain when we're attacking, receiving the ball and then going at them. Disco, who stood out for you? I know you mentioned Kasper Denoy, you thought had a really good game. You were there watching him live. I guess you had the luxury of seeing the whole pitch. Yeah. Unfortunately, I had to watch it on the TV. So what did you make of his performance? Is anyone else you want to mention as well?
Yeah, look, start with Negley on the back of that. I thought he had a quietish debut. I think, like Chris said in his review, that he looked like he got muscled out a few times. But I sort of half expected that, and I think all the sort of previews that we'd been given said that might be the challenge for in the physicality of the league. So get that. Thought he might be a little bit quicker than he looked, but that again might be early days. But clear technical ability, never give the ball away, or very rarely, that's for sure. And he did come stronger in the second half. And I have to say, having seen the video of him after the game, he was even better than I thought on the day. So I'm very comfortable we've got a player there who's just going to grow and grow, which is good. But for me, look, some really good performances throughout the whole team. But for me, head and shoulders above anybody on the day was Kasper, CDN. I thought he was the best game I've ever seen him play in a Millwall shirt. He was winning everything. He was obviously setting people up. He kept the ball. I think I saw he had an 86% pass success rate, which is pretty good, especially against Leeds, and it proves how good he was. The big black guy tried to actually cut him in half to stop him from playing. And listen, I'll be honest, at the game, saw the tackle, but didn't really realise it was as bad as that. The one thing that made me know it was bad, Tanganga was going bananas at the ref, and you thought, that's bloody serious. And then people were obviously getting texts from home and videos saying it's a bloody leg breaker. It's a straight red all day long. How's the ref not even give that? It's beyond belief. And the other way round, you don't reckon he'd give that as a red? Sorry, Jesper.
Yes, we don't agree with you.
Absolutely, yeah, he's off. Yeah. But I thought Kasper, start to finish, was absolutely fantastic. Every blade of grass, never lost the ball, great tackles, interceptions. Crikey, if he can carry on in that vein for the rest of the season, we're in really, really good hands, that's for sure.
Wow, yeah. I mean, great to hear that, Disco. And I think it's a credit to Kasper. I think he just turned 28 as well, didn't he? His birthday the other day. So happy birthday, Kasper, if you get the chance to watch this. And yeah, great performance. I think, as you say, Disco, I think he was everywhere on the pitch, Kasper. He worked so hard off the ball. He's got the highest stats for interceptions. And what I love that he gets the ball, and the first thing he's looking to do is play it forward, trying to create something. And that moment actually helps that second goal with Aziz, which kind of killed the tie off. Paul, coming to yourself, any honourable mentions or any player performance that sort of stuck out in your mind that you want to give sort of credit to?
I say another little well done to Joe Bryan. I feel like he's another solid game. He's the last 4 or 5 weeks he's kind of come into his own. I think that's got a lot to do with the players around him now as well. After that bit of confidence, you can kind of put it into Cundall's feet, and he's going to get it under control. Or rather than playing percentage passes, I just don't think it's his game. I thought he was fantastic again, solid. The keeper Roberts, everything he did, quality, penalty save. his enthusiasm. So yeah, he had a great game. But I think literally the whole team, the boys that come on, I don't think you can fault anyone. And we just look comfortable, as I said earlier. I don't remember watching Millwall and feeling that comfortable any game, let alone away to Leeds.
Yeah. What's your thoughts, Paul, on Wes Harding? Obviously, everyone's not shocked or surprised, but I guess it was an obvious choice in coming at right back, filling in for Kramer, who was cup tied. What did you make of his performance? And did you expect him to play as well as he did, considering he hasn't played a first team game for God knows how long now?
Yeah, I mean, I thought he would be the weak link, but he was brilliant. I mean, the first half, I think he was fantastic. The second half, I think you could see he was getting tired, but fair play, like cracked on. First involved when he scored as well, up there punching it. It was the kit man put on there about Uncle Wes.
Yeah,
on Uncle Wes or something like that. It's nice because you do forget sometimes these things that they're people, even though you know it's a person in there. You just think, well, he's been around another year and he's barely played. So to come in, perform at that level. And you can tell they all love him there. So, yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
That's off to you, mate.
He's definitely someone in the change room who all the players seem to get on really, really well with. They all speak what a lovely guy he is, and he's so supportive of the others, even though he's not playing. Like, you see him at half time, full time, he's always congratulating the players, patting them on the back, and you need that sort of player in the change room, don't you, sometimes, Before we discuss the next question regarding who would you pick out of Leon Roberts and Lucas Jensen in goal, let's go to the chat very, very quickly to make sure we haven't missed out on anyone. So Simon says that challenge on Sav should have been on Casper. Sorry, should have been a straight red. Crib broke his leg. Ref was shite. Absolutely. Craig Jones says fashionably late evening chaps. How you doing, Craig? Sav, yeah, I think he means Casper, didn't you, on that tackle? Carbrace said the Premier League will hate Millwall, West Ham, Chelsea, Palace. Connor says his dribbling is better than SA, but the ball won't leave his feet. Anyone going to Plymouth tomorrow? Me and the two boys. Jeff Chancellor, we now have a lot of players comfortable with the ball. Hella fucking you, yeah, absolutely. Couldn't say it better myself. Put his perspective, it was the Leeds second team with different March, but still a great win. Yeah, it will be, but you can only beat the team that's in front of you. I think we'll have players available in March. We'll have Crammer, we'll have Connolly, and a few others, no doubt. So yeah, I think
we had about half a team. We had about half a team.
That's what I'm saying. So... Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly. Anyone know numbers? Plymouth away? Have you heard anything? Have you guys?
I think it's about 400, isn't it? Is what I
is it?
Think I saw. I think so. I think he's right there. Yeah.
Nice.
That's decent. To be fair, that's decent, isn't it? On a Wednesday night.
Fair play, 400 on a Wednesday night. That's class.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, so guys,
Joe, can I just say as well, though? Look, I know we can mention everybody. I thought Tanganga and Cooper was fantastic, along with Brian and Harding at the back. Obviously, look, we haven't mentioned Femi, 2 goals and a bloody great performance from him. So pleased for him because he's really turned the table, hasn't he, on when he started. I think a lot of people had question marks and he's very quickly showing what he can do. So fair play to Femi. We've said about Negley. I've got to say Kundal, I think he's a bit of an unsung hero. I'm going to call him the glue. He's like the glue at the top there. When the old days 100%. Of putting the ball up there and it just comes straight back and we're in trouble. He just seems to get hold of the ball, nice little pass and move.
Little 1-2s.
He plays his part in it. And that's massive for us, So I think Jeff said there, didn't he? We've got players who are comfortable on the ball. And I agree with him. Hallelujah. How different does that look and feel? Very encouraging.
The players we brought in, good age, level above, technically very, very good as well, and I just feel we look a lot better on the ball with the players we signed now. You look at Negley, you look at Kundal as 2 examples. They look very comfortable on the ball. They're good with the ball at their feet. They don't panic. The touch is good. So long may that sort of continue. Hopefully, that could be a change of our new playing style. Paul, go at yourself.
Sorry, I just on that note so quickly. I think it makes Ivanovic look better as well because it doesn't. He's just not a target man. But when he's dropping deep and he's like doing first time passes and laying off to him, and then they've got the technical ability to then like pass it and move and whatever. It looks like a different game.
Yeah, exactly. And I think we're using Ivanovic the right way as well. I've said it before. We're not hitting balls up in the air to him now and for him to fight 50-50s with defenders. The ball's actually getting played into his feet. And what Ivanovic does is very good. He just gets the ball, he plays it back, he keeps it, he makes a run, and everything sort of clicks really nicely at the moment. I think he's playing a real good role there, to the point that I think if Coburn comes back fit now, I'm always kind of questioning who do I want to start, Coburn or Ivanovic, because I think he just links up so well with our attacking play at the moment.
But it's a luxury problem, isn't it, Joe, to have, if one doesn't work out, you have, what a reserve you have, then you can put on. It's
exactly
just positive. But can I just say also an honorable mention? We mentioned the new players here coming in, making a difference. I like how adjustable Cooper has been as well. We've always said he's an old school defender. He lumps the ball forward. I've seen a player under Alex now where he takes the ball, he drives forward now, he tries to find a pass. He doesn't try to overcomplicate things, but he's not just lumping it forward aimlessly towards, Ivanovic or someone else. I think he's done a really, really good job at adjusting his game, but not to a point where he's giving the ball away silly.
No.
But you can definitely see that he's been told to play differently, and he's done that remarkably well, I think.
Yeah. Great honourable mention there for Coops, and well said. I agree with that. Paul, we're going to go with Paul, then Disco, then Jesper this time round. For you, in a nutshell, Liam Roberts or Lucas Jensen, in your opinion, who'd you go for as your preferred keeper at the moment? It's a tough choice given Liam Roberts' recent experiences. Played 2 games plus the end of was it the Luton game? I can't remember. It wasn't when he come on for the injured.
Come on for a minute, didn't he?
And he's kept a clean sheet, hasn't he? Again, guys, while we're going through the panel, in the chat very, very quickly, Jensen or Roberts, put it in the chat. Let's see who you guys go for. But Paul, start with you. Who you go for? It's your choice, and why?
I'm going to stick with Jensen. If it's not broke, don't fix it. I feel like there's still a lot more to come, and he does worry me. I feel more. It sounds really daft. I'm going to say it out loud. I feel more comfortable with Roberts in goal. I feel like he does any claims, crosses, and the defence seem less aggy with him at certain points. I feel like they pull up Jensen quite a bit, but Jensen's such a good shot stopper. There's a reason why he is our number one. He's younger. I just feel there's more to go. There's like a higher ceiling. So yeah, I'm wrong clearly. But the other thing I noticed, because I looked into this earlier when you said you was going to talk about it, and the difference between their kicking isn't actually, as in the stats behind it, isn't actually that big. But Roberts strikes it a lot cleaner. He can get a lot more distance on it. But when you're talking about actually us winning the ball from them passes, there's not much in it, which I was surprised with, because I thought, I thought Roberts was a lot cleaner.
Yeah. No, I agree, and I think being a lefty, Roberts, I think technically they always seem to have a really good kicking left-footed
nice strike.
Yeah, exactly. Just going to you next. I'm just going through the chat here. You couldn't be more down the middle. You tried 50. Roberts, you got Jensen there. It's incredible, really, like how divided we are on this one. What's
problem,
your thoughts? It's a great problem to have, absolutely. Yeah. But who do you pick, Disco, and why?
I think, look, first and foremost, I think we're really lucky. We've got 2 top quality keepers, it seems, at the moment. I genuinely wouldn't. You get the team sheet tomorrow. I don't mind if it's either of them. I'm not going to be disappointed, with either of them being in goal and the other one not. Personally, right now, I don't see how Roberts doesn't keep the shirt, with playing so well. And for me at Pompey, as well as that game at Leeds, he looks so assured. And I agree with Paul. My only concern with Jensen is he is a bit of a flapper at crosses. And there was one in the QPR game, you remember, a corner came over and he was all over that. It took a knock and all that.
Over, didn't
but he looks... Sorry?
He fell over. I think he tripped, didn't he? He tripped up.
I think it was Tanganga,
didn't he?
Tanganga clipped him by accident, didn't he? Yeah.
But if I had to pick, I'd go Roberts right now. But I absolutely no problem with either. I think we're lucky we've got 2 really good keepers, and difficult decision for old Alex, which I'm sure he'll relish.
Absolutely. And Jesper, who's your choice out of Jensen, Roberts, and why?
Yeah, it's I wouldn't say a complicated one. It's just a good problem to have again. And I've been really surprised about how good Roberts was and is since coming on against Pompey. I haven't seen him play before, so I was a bit nervous when we went down there and Jensen was injured. But he's just come on and, he's looked like he's played 20 games before he came on against Pompey, so he's been brilliant. But I think Jensen has been brought in to be our number one goalkeeper, and I don't think he's done much wrong. I agree with Steve that you still see moments where you're like, ooh, heart in mouth moments. But again, he hasn't done anything wrong to lose the shirt. And if there's just one position I don't like to change too often, it's the goalkeeper position, because you want a back four, a settled back four with a keeper that they play with week in, week out. So I think I'll tilt a little bit more towards Jensen, but I have to say Robert is right there breathing right down his neck. If he does anything wrong, he will be in, I think, straight away. So good problem to have. I think I'll keep Jensen for now.
Great problem to have.
Yes, but can I just ask you, is he mentioned Jensen for the Danish team at all? Is he sort of in
No,
he's not. No.
Is Schmeichel still the goalkeeper for Denmark?
He is. He is still playing. I think people are now calling for Hermansen at Leicester to come in.
Yeah.
Oh right. Okay.
Yeah. And then we also have actually this Philip who's playing at Chelsea. He's not playing right now, which I don't understand. I think this Sanchez guy is horrible. But so we have him as well. Jensen would be, I think, 4th, 5th down the rank. He hasn't been mentioned. He's quite unknown here in Denmark because he left Denmark when he was around 18, 19 to go to England and play. And he only played in the second best league before. So whenever I mention it, they're like, Lucas who? Unfortunately.
Right.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
What about you, Joe? Who would you go for?
It's a tough one. I think, again, we're very fortunate to have two good goalkeepers. I like both keepers. I think they're both quality goalkeepers for us. I think if I had to pick between the two, I think I'll go with Roberts. Only because I think he's like the cleaner sort of goalkeeper in a sense that he looks comfortable at crosses, shot stopping's great, his distribution's great. And what I admire about him is he's played in two of the hardest games, Pompey away, Leeds away, where you've got hostile fans there. And, he doesn't seem to bother him at all. He's experienced pro, and I just think we're very lucky to have two good goalkeepers. I think the last time I can remember us having two good goalkeepers, probably Tony Warner and Willy Gueret at the time, the French keeper. I can't think back when we had that luxury of having two good goalkeepers. Put it in the chat if you could think of a better pairing. But for me, it was Tony Warner and Willy Gueret, because I just thought they were great. You could play either of those two in goal, and I think they both were fantastic. Guys, just between yourself very quickly, so answer a quick question for War Lion. Thoughts on Billy Mitchell? I guess, what do you think of his performance in the Leeds game, and do you think he done himself justice to get a first team place, in your opinions?
Go on, Paul.
Yeah, go on, mate. I think he had a good game. I almost ruined it for him. I text my mate saying, "God, Billy's on fire today," and I think he passed it straight back to him. And nearly put him in. And then I'm pretty sure he then went and actually won the ball back. So I'm pleased with Billy. I love Billy. I've got a soft spot for him. He's a good, honest player. I think he'll do well under Alex Neil, because I do think if you put him next to Casper, he could do the job. But he's got a tough job to try and break in, because Casper's been brilliant. I'm not dropping him. And Sav is the governor of our team on the pitch. So I don't think you drop him either. But hopefully he can get a few minutes here and there, because we're going to need him, aren't we? FA Cup run, get into the semi-final at least again. In the playoffs.
Brilliant. Yeah. I thought it was a really nice vote of confidence from Alex to put him in, because I would have gone for Wintle on form.
Yeah.
And Billy was a little bit rusty, and as you say, Paul, he had that little error in him. But who doesn't make at least one mistake 100%. In a match? Other than that, he had a good game. You can't say he didn't have a good game and played his part. So it was really good. He needed that. He needed that game. Problem is, he probably won't be in the team now, but he'll be on the bench and he'll come on more. And we're in good hands there.
Yeah, and also sorry, go on, mate.
Sorry, I was going to say, what did you make of Protein Daniel Kelly? He's been bulking, hasn't he, the guy?
Looks like he's been on the old protein shakes. Absolutely, it did look like he's put a bit of extra weight on him in the right way. He didn't look fat, but he looked sort of stocky. He's clearly been sort of working out a little bit. But fair play to him. But then he's still a growing boy, isn't he? Like, how is he? 18, 19, he's still going through. That growth at the moment. He's getting bigger and stronger or whatever. So, looks.
I think they do it on purpose, Joe.
Good.
I think they did it on purpose. They did it with Esse. Yeah, well, with Esse, he kind of went.
Yeah.
I don't last November, December when it was. He just went missing for like a month, and he come back like a bloke. Before he was like little, and then he come back with like calves like that.
Well, Angelo talking about his legs already all the time. I know Angelo's got a fetish for footballers' legs.
Though, isn't
he? Exactly. Not just footballers' legs, any men's legs.
Anyone's legs. So you can, if you want to send them in.
Yeah, send your pictures into the Sicilian Godfather at gmail.com. I'll make sure it gets to him.
Preferably showing just a little bit of sock. He likes that as well.
Yeah, exactly. But just your final bit on Billy Mitchell, really, and how you felt he played, and what does give us different to everyone else, I suppose.
I think he looked better. I think the few games he came on since he came back from injury, he looked quite. We use the word stiff when we talk about him in the group, and he has been. He's looked a bit rusty, hasn't he? And like he hasn't really settled in, and maybe he hasn't been given the game time that he needed, etc. So again, one way I thought at Leeds, Ellen Road away, 35,000, and he's going to start, but I think he did well. Gave the ball away a couple of times, but as Steve said, you're going to expect that. But I think he linked up well with Kasper as well. So that was good to see. I hope we keep Billy as well. I believe he's one of them who's out of contract in the summer, isn't he? So I'd like to see him stick around as well. I think he can be a really good player. He's got such a good engine on him when he's on form, and he can really boss that midfield, and I think he played, as I said, very well with Kasper in there, and with Seb as well. Yeah, he might be the governor, but I think we talked about it a few times. He doesn't have the legs to play 46 games plus cup games, etc. So it's so important that we are able to rotate, especially him. And then it's good to have someone like Billy. We got Messi coming up. We got Kelly in there as well, and you could even put Honeyman in there, who's got a good engine on him as well. So there's great competition for that spot, and I'm happy to see he played instead of Wintle, since Wintle will be going back. So
true.
Really like that.
It's a great call from Alex Neil there, and I think you're right. I think we saw glimpses of the old Billy on Saturday. A lot of players, like you mentioned, their Disco as well. People saying that he's a little bit stiff. He's not quite the same player he used to be before the injury, but I think he did play really well. Sav, as you say, Jesper, quality player for us. He gives us that little bit of edge in midfield sometimes, that kind of little bit of aggression and leadership in midfield. But what I noticed, what Billy gave us that perhaps Sav didn't, is those legs, and it kind of helps Kasper out a lot, because Kasper works very hard, but have another player alongside him who could do the same, share the workload a little bit. It definitely made our midfield look a lot stronger, didn't it? Talking about good management, Jesper, and everything else. What do you make of Alex Neil start as head coach? He's certainly getting the best out of our players at the moment. I mean, there are some of them who are really kind of thriving, and we haven't had Marku back yet. It'd be interesting what he does with Marku when he's back. But what do you make of his management style? What do you make of the way that Millwall is set up now? The way our impact on the way we're playing. Do you feel there's a certain kind of freedom to play, less restricted as it used to be in the old days under Harris? Maybe.
Want me to start?
Yes, please. Yeah.
And I think we can start to see a foundation now of how we want to play. I think over the last 2, 3, 4 games, we've seen a pattern of how we want to play. I think we've looked good. There's been moments in games where we sort of been under the cosh a little bit, and we're still finding our feet. We got loads of new players coming in as well. So I think what he's done in less than 40 days is remarkable, I would say. But as Steve said, I won't get ahead of myself. We've had 5 good games, and we know 5 bad ones could be just around the corner. But it just looks different this time, because we're not playing percentage football right now. And I think going back to Chap's interview with Sam Parkin as well about sustainability, and also finding a way to defend with the ball, we look much more confident with the ball now, and we're not just sat back waiting for them to attack and attack and attack. We are actually giving them something to think about now, which is really encouraging. And we've got some speed up front now as well, which we haven't had for a long time. We've got players up there who wants to get on the ball, who can take on the player and really work the team the other way, the opponent the other way. So I think, it just looks different this time. And I think he's done well to sort of implement his style so far. And I can't wait to see where we are in 2 and 3 months, maybe next season as well.
Yeah, I agree. Exciting times ahead, definitely. Just a couple of mentions in the chat here. Alex says, do you think Kasper is at an age now where we don't have to worry about losing him. Obviously, just turned 28 at the moment. I think if any Premiership club was to come in for him now, I guess you got this summer potentially if he carries on the way he does. But are we going to get big money for him at 28 years of age, guys? Do you feel that perhaps, he's here till the end of his contract? I think his contract runs out in a couple of years' time. I think he's got an extra year added onto that year if he plays enough games, doesn't he, as well? So he could be here till like 30, 31, in all honesty, couldn't he, Disco? What do you make of that?
Yeah, no, I'd be surprised if we lose him. But look, you don't know. He's quality. Like I say, he keeps playing like he did Saturday. There's going to be a lot of interest in sort of higher Championship or Premiership, lower Premiership teams. He's a quality player without a doubt. But I agree. I think he'll stick with us, Joe. I presume he's got another year or two, and as you say, maybe an option of an extension. So hopefully he'll just grow and grow with us.
Yeah. And Paul, coming to you, mate, just on Andy's comment, I like this one as well. Look at the difference from this time last season, trying to crawl off the bottom, and all we had was a half-fit Obafemi. Such a difference. I mean, if you can remember that far, Paul, a year ago, roughly, how things were then, and players were trying to get through the door, to try and get us through and try and survive almost. It's a big difference, isn't it?
It is, mate. It is. I mean, to be fair, 5 games ago, I was on here moaning that we need to hurry up and sign players. I'm just glad Gallon listened and went out and signed 7 or 8 in whoever it was in a week and a half.
True. Yeah.
It just feels positive, doesn't it? Yeah, we've got some good players. We've got a bloody good manager, and hopefully we've got some good prospects coming through. That the beauty of it is as well. What I like about Alex Neil, going back to that point, is that I just like everything about him, and I think you're seeing as well the difference it makes when the whole club's pulling in one direction.
Yeah,
I think that drags performances on the pitch, and then even though you've got like Lovelace come in, I love the fact that even though it kind of you want to see these young players, it's not like he's Watmore's out the squad now and that's it, it's to the side. No, you've got to earn your stripes, mate. So Watmore's coming off the bench, Honeyman's coming off the bench, so he will take time to integrate these players, get them up and teach them what he wants them to do. And I just think it's such an underrated thing to be able to make players better, which sounds really stupid, right? You're a manager, you should make players better, but not all managers do that. They use systems to get the best out of them for a bit.
Or leave it to the coaches to sort of deal with that, don't they? They don't want to kind of get involved with that side,
Exactly, mate, exactly. But yeah, I just, for me, when I first heard his name, I thought, I'm not sure. Once I looked into him, I thought he was brilliant, and now I'm so happy we've got him.
Yeah, excellent. Disco, I don't know if you mentioned about Alex Neil, did you? What's your thoughts on his start as Mill manager?
I go back. Look, I'm not being wise after the event. I go back to when he came in. He was my first choice. I thought he was the right man for the job. I think, like a lot of people said, his credentials were way above what we've had in the past, already. And he's now proving, look, it's early days again. Let's put a lid on it and let's take game by game. But certainly the signs are positive. What I've liked is we love hearing him do his interviews. He's bloody brilliant, isn't he? He's so calm. He's so balanced. He said
very well.
I thought it was brilliant Saturday when he said, look, we've done great. We're over it. He said, everybody, because we're doing well, everybody will now want more, and he says, and I realise that, but it's, and we do, don't we? Now we're like, now we want more of this, and we're going to fly through the league, so, we've got to take one step at a time. He said 2 things: we need to keep the ball more, and we need to score more goals. And I think he's been true to that. And I think, Joe, I was looking, I think I'm right. I think he's had 8 games now with the Was Oxford his first game? I think it was, wasn't it? His first actual game.
Yeah, it's right.
And I think I'm right in saying, I think we've scored 13 goals in that 8 games. Check it might be. So 1.6, we were struggling to get 1 a game, weren't we? And we're already at 1.6, and we've had 2s, we've had a 3. So he's already delivering on what he said he would do. But he's got some players in as well, which he's been part of by the sound of it. But I'm really pleased and looking forward to the future.
Excellent. How much do you put to Rosslin's point there? How much do you put to Alex Neil and get the best out of Joe Bryan at the moment? I mean, lots of managers have sort of tried and failed, didn't they, a little bit with him? But he seems to be getting the player out of Joe Bryan. Dare I say it, the old Joe Bryan, from his Fulham days almost,
I think Angelo said weeks ago, like he seems like he's not concentrating, Joe Bryan. You know, he's a bit sort of
lapse
in
of
and
focus.
out, isn't he? You remember?
Yeah.
And it's almost like, and we said we need somebody to get a grip of him and say, listen, tune in and get a grip. And it feels like that in the right way. That's what's happened. And he is a different player, isn't he? You know, look, he's still got a mistake in him, but I'll take it the way he's playing now over what we've had previously.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously, next topic we want to discuss now is the FA Cup fifth round draw. Obviously, we got Palace, Paul, and with Palace, obviously comes somebody who we're no stranger to, Roman Esse, who it looks obvious. You know, if you write the story, if you write the story correct, you know, he's gonna. He's definitely going to feature in that game, isn't he? Whether he'll start or not, I don't know. But you just know that Palace will play him against us. What did you make of the tie? And are you looking forward to it?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't want Palace, to be honest with you. I was looking at a bigger draw away, hopefully, and going. But if we have to go to their Tin Pot ground, we'll go there. But yeah, I mean, it'd be a good game. I just hope, again, I sound pessimistic, but I just hope it's not Sunday morning Sunday lunchtime kickoff, and they let us actually have a good day, and they give us a load of tickets, and we can go there and and obviously make ourselves heard.
I think because it's an FA Cup tie, we get a larger percentage of what they'll normally give out for a league game. Am I right thinking that?
15%, but it's down to the Metropolitan Police to confirm it, so they can override it.
Yeah. So in which case, I guess, to answer to what you said just there, Paul,
we'll get 100.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm guessing, we're going to get maximum capacity if it's going to be an early kickoff. I'm guessing, But look, at the end of the day, it is what it is. I'd rather that happen and get more of us in there. I think so. And at first, I really wanted that tie at home. I want to be at the Den. But actually thinking about it, I think we'll play better against better teams away from home.
In a way.
Yeah, when we're defending and we're nicking a goal on the break and things like that, I think it just suits us. Because at home, I'm not saying that Palace are going to sit back. We've got to attack them. But what I'm saying is at home, the onus is on us to attack them, being the home team.
Yep.
And it doesn't always work out well for us, especially against a good side. So I don't know. I'm quietly confident. And I think, that especially that away support as well, as you've seen this go on Saturday, and we've all sort of been to away games, is a different type of Mill fan base there, isn't there? The home support, yes, they do their bit now and again, but I just feel the away support really kind of get behind the team, make a big difference. I think having that, in their thousands at Sellers Park against Crystal Palace, I think it's going to be infectious, isn't it? It's going to be fantastic. What you guys think?
Yeah, listen, it's always brilliant there, and it's always a great atmosphere, and we haven't got a bad record there, I'd say, from my memories.
When's the last time you've been there, Disco? Can you remember that long?
I can't remember the game. I've been a few times, but I can't remember. I remember Steve Lovell heading in a winner. My mate Jeff, who's in the chat, he's Mr. Knowledge. He'll remember all the games, but I can't remember the last one. But I think I've been to most of the games we've played there. But it's funny when we got them in the cup a few years ago. I remember it coming out the hat, and I absolutely jumped off the chair like, fucking get in there.
Yeah.
Brilliant. When it was like Palace, fucking fantastic. This time it was a bit like the Leeds one. It was a bit, but I really wanted United, City or Newcastle away, ideally. For me, probably a bit better away or at home, but away I fancied, especially Old Trafford. But actually, once the dust has settled, you think, it's a bloody good draw, that, because imagine Bournemouth or Ipswich or Fulham, or Preston or Burnley, you'd have been like, Jesus. So it's a good draw for us, really good draw.
Yeah, no, I agree. Jesper, what's your thoughts on the tie? You excited about the matchup?
Yeah, I think it's a good draw. As Paul said, I wanted United as well, and not just because it's Man United. I think we could actually beat them now. As ludicrous as it may sound, they are in hell right now, and they are having so many problems on and off the field. Low on confidence. They're losing week in, week out at Old Trafford as well. I haven't seen United in this state ever since I started watching football in 1991. So
Yeah.
that's why I wanted them. But yeah, you don't always get what you want. So I think Palace away, we don't have to travel long to get there as well for the players' sake. It's a good draw as
True.
well. And, a derby, as Steve said, we don't have a bad record. I remember my first highlight VHS tape was that season when we got into the playoff semis and we beat them there 3-1. Steve Claridge 2, Richard Sadlier 1.
Yeah, that's right.
Really good game as well. Really good atmosphere, as what I could see on the video as well. So I think a good draw overall.
Yeah.
I think, yeah. But as Paul said, I don't hope it will be Sunday at 10 a.m. So yeah, let's get a fair date and kick-off time.
That's right, exactly. I remember going there years and years and years ago. I don't know if you guys remember in the chat, and whether you might remember Paul or Disco. We won, I think it was 2-1, and Uwe Fuchs scored. I can't remember who got the second one. Was it Chappell? I think it might have been at the time. Huh? Is that before your time, Uwe Fuchs?
You're too old.
All right. Disco. Do you remember that time when we won 2-1 at Stellers Park and Uwe Fuchs scored?
I'm so old, my memory's gone, unfortunately.
Oh, is it? We need someone between you and Paul, don't we? We need someone who's like not as old as Disco, and a little bit older than Paul. Well,
exactly. The last time I went was we won and Theo Robinson scored the winner. So do you remember him?
Wow.
I think he was on loan at the time. We signed him permanently. Yeah.
We only had him for a short period. He was really lightning quick. I remember that. And I was quite excited about getting him. And then did he get homesick or something? Didn't he? Ended up leaving very quickly. Yeah.
We're all talking about wins. We're all talking about wins at Palace. It's
guys, in the chat, please, guys, please don't make me feel I'm going mad here. We did beat them 2-1. I'm pretty sure of it. Uwe Fuchs scored the winner. Let me know if you remember that game at all. But yeah, obviously we need to sort of move on from this point. And the next topic of discussion, guys, is the injury updates. And perhaps we can start with Paul on this one. I mean, readings.
What's happening?
I do not know.
Countdown for you, Paul.
All I'm saying is, I didn't touch anything, so I'll put that on Paul. Paul's like a little kid there, messing around, like You can imagine being on the airplane.
Knobs, Paul.
You can imagine being on the airplane, a Boeing 737, 10,000 feet up in the air, and Paul's the kids going, "What does that button do? What does that one do?"
Don't blame me. I didn't touch anything.
Keep your hands away from it, Paul. Stop pressing the buttons. Sorry, the guy on their website, Mill website mentioned the obviously Alex Neil will have Tristan Crammer back for tomorrow's game. Aaron Connolly, Benicio Baker available for selection once again after Trio was ineligible for the trip to Ellen Road through being cup tied, and with Danny McNamara, Ryan Leonard and Callum Scanlon all out long-term injuries. There is a good news, obviously Josh Coburn and Idemo Marco are back in training but unlikely to feature, with the head coach giving food for thought. Elsewhere, as names such as Liam Roberts, Wes Harding, Billy Mitchell, and Femi Aziz performing well in Yorkshire is giving them a good headache. So I guess what that says is, as in Coburn and Marco, not quite there. Paul, it seems like they're obviously training at the moment, getting fit, but not quite ready to see any sort of first team action, are they, at the moment, I guess?
Yeah, I think we're just being careful with them, and rightly so, I suppose. With COVID,
could afford to be, can't we now? I suppose, couldn't we?
That's the beauty of it. There was no mention of Langstaff there, was there, actually, which was weird.
Oh, that's true.
I don't know if he was injured Saturday or if he weren't injured, but Tom Leahy was on the bench, really. So,
great point.
I wonder if he'll be on the bench tomorrow. Yeah, I mean, hopefully, once we've got a full squad, we've got some attacking options now, and I do think you'll find, depending on how the season pans out, I think if and when we are safe, you will see a lot more of the younger ones getting their opportunities. What's that? Honestly, I didn't touch anything, so
Is that a wrong button? We never had this on Disco's watch.
That's right, Alex. I'm glad
good cut off, Joe. There you go. It was Chris Malcolm and Uwe Fuchs. There you go. And the green, that's it, Captain Morgan. Yeah. No, you're right though, Paul. Obviously, it's just a case of, at the moment, I think we are fortunate to be in a position where we don't have to rush them back and overdo it and end up being out for a bit longer. Someone else mentioned in the comments there earlier, I think given the situation with BFS and Coburn, we're not necessarily having to rush Coburn back either, but also if he does come back, there's no harm in playing last 15, 20 minutes of a game rather than starting games now. Yeah. And that might help him or prevent him from getting injured again this season, I guess, you know.
And even on the wings, Joe, like tomorrow, you've got Femi Aziz scored 2. So does he start? You got what's it say? You got obviously RBW. He didn't start. Does he come back in? He's been brilliant. You've got Negley. He's done well.
Exactly.
Connolly scored in his last game. He got man of the match. Does he come back?
Saville's rested, so I guess he's going to feature.
I think
tomorrow as well.
Saville, Kramer are the definites. Saville and Kramer are the definites that come back in, Connolly? And then it's just that's what Connolly? I don't know. I don't know what do you do. Connolly, Aziz.
Jesus. Well, look, I think Andy Herbert mentioned it here. Tomorrow, do you play Connolly, Aziz?
There you go.
Camel toe. The camel toe. And Marco back soon too. Exactly. So, what's your thoughts, Disco, on the injury situation? And I guess, you know, we're kind of close to them coming back now, aren't we, to full complement.
Yeah, look, I think we've been saying for weeks now, I can't believe Coburn's not back. You know, I will say again, he said at Sheffield Wednesday it would be about 3 weeks, and that's about 6 weeks ago. Look, that's a worry, isn't it, with Coburn? And I get the point, we don't have to rush him back, but it is a worry that this is another one that's taken quite a while for him to get back. But look, let's ease him back in gently. I'm suspecting he might be in goal on the bench on Saturday against West Brom, and what a turnaround that I'm not actually panicking that he's not in the squad. I'd love him to be in the squad, even the starting lineup, but it's not as much as an issue as it was, 6 weeks ago. So that shows how far we've come. When you mention all those players options we've got, especially up front, Jesus, what team is he going to pick tomorrow? Let's be honest, not going to please everybody, fans as well as players. But we've got to trust him that he's picking a team to win the game, and look, hopefully we will do that. But we're in such good shape. Fantastic,
Absolutely. And Jesper, do you share the same thought process as Paul and Disco? I mean, I guess the beauty is having these players, fighting for first team football. They're all fighting for positions at the moment. No one's position is actually safe at the moment because obviously it's there for them to kind of claim that shirt, isn't it? I suppose, which is not a bad thing, is it?
No, it's excellent. That's what we need. That's what we want in a team, not to get too comfortable. But yeah, who do we play tomorrow? Femi has been out for a month and he's played on Saturday as well. So even though you people will think, well, you're not going to drop him. Maybe we are, and we're going to spare him for Saturday against West Brom, and then we're going to play Connolly, who's been, I think, it's been really good since he's come in. So I could see him maybe potentially start instead of Aziz, just not to overwork him to start with. Kramer's going to come in on right back for sure. And then, do you play Saf? I think he'll play Saf and Kasper in there, and then Kondo. And do you go Neckley? Do you go Bangura Williams? It's a tough job being a manager, isn't it? When you need to, these are the luxury problems, and thankfully we have these sort of issues. Whereas 1 month ago we could barely put 11 players out there. So, look, good times, difficult to be a manager, but a good position and a great position to be in as a club. We got more players coming back. We got Coburn, we got Imaku, we got do we have a third one coming back as well? I can't remember now. But anyway, we got players to pick from now, and that's a real positive, I think.
Yeah.
But tricky game tomorrow. I think we're going to touch on that later. But it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And the great thing is, we all know how tough and grueling the Championship is, especially at this part of the season as we're getting towards the kind of last third of the season, if you want to call it that. And having a squad now of players where we're not necessarily taking players out and then bringing players in of a much lesser ability and level. We actually got quality now in numbers. So by us rotating and moving players around, we're going to have not only just fresh players in there, but players of a good level, good standard as well. And I think that could, be the difference, us getting in the playoffs and not getting the playoffs. Because come the end of the season, you like to think, as long as they're well managed, I'm sure Alex Neil will do that very carefully with selection. We're going to sustain this, I'm hoping, and we're going to be quite strong come the tail end of the season. And who knows, we're making it to the playoffs, and we've got a decent squad, and they're not burnt out, as they were perhaps, probably against the Blackburn game when I think, legs were quite tired that part of the season. So who knows? I think things will definitely work in our favour with a bigger squad at the moment, which looks really, really good. Chaps, is it a good time or a bad time to play Plymouth? Obviously, they hit a bit of form, especially with the knocking out Liverpool, Jesper, didn't they? Yesterday. I mean, how do you see that game going tomorrow night? Do you see it as one we can definitely get that 5th win on the road, a 4th win in the league?
I think we can. I think the game against Liverpool for them was, I hate to say it, sort of a free hit. You sort of get away from the league and the distractions of having to pick up points week in and week out, and they are in big trouble in the league as well. Tomorrow is going to be a completely different atmosphere. It's going to be a completely different game, and they've been on such a high since Sunday. So how do you adjust that? How do you adjust your mentality going into play little old Millwall on a Wednesday night? It's so different. We are coming off a high as well, playing Leeds away, but not in the same way. I would say, it's still a good result, but we didn't beat Liverpool away or something similar to what they did.
Yeah,
it's a tricky one again. They will be full of confidence, but they will also be tired. They will be tired physically because they had one day less rest, and they will be maybe a bit tired mentally as well.
Good point.
So I can see us going there and getting a result, but it's not going to be easy. And I'm not going to sit here and say we're gonna just walk in and take all 3 points. We saw it last season. We went to Rotherham, we went to Huddersfield. Everyone was like, "Yep, we're going to win that." We lost two in a row, and everyone thought, "Oh, here we go. Here, League One, here we come."
Yeah,
that's the Championship. Every game is difficult, and we can't just expect to rock up and just nick 3 points to say thank you very much and then walk off. It doesn't work like that. It's going to be difficult.
You're absolutely spot on there, Jesper. Disco coming to you next. Alex Etcher said they're Plymouth have beaten Brentford and Liverpool in the Cup, taking 4 points from Sunderland and West Brom in the last 2 league games. It's definitely going to be a tough game tomorrow night. Obviously away from home. I don't know how long the journey is. A 4.5 hour journey there. I'm sure
but Joe also just mentioning, also lost 5-0 at home to Burnley. So let's not, some good results, but also some really bad results.
Yeah, no, you're right, exactly. How do you see that one going, Disco?
Look, they've definitely got a new manager bounce, haven't they? He seems quite an interesting character.
Is it still the caretaker manager there? That's getting a tune out at the moment.
I thought he was a permanent. He's a foreign guy, isn't he? Where's he from?
Oh, really? Okay.
Austrian,
yeah. All right.
Okay.
Thomas Frank, yeah. It is, isn't it? He's Austrian, isn't he, as well? So
no, he's Danish.
Who? Thomas Frank?
Thomas is Danish, he is.
I beg your pardon.
Is he?
Sorry.
Oh, wow.
He is,
So you have good goalkeepers and good managers. Bloody hell, what's going on?
The
country
pretty
is
ladies as well we have over here.
Brilliant. Look, they've got a new manager bounce. It could go either way, couldn't it? They could be knackered from the other night because they've put everything into that, or they could be on a real high and their form is really good. We'll take them lightly at our peril, but I can't believe Alex Neil will allow us to do that. We'll set up to really be tight and play our game. I said a draw last week, and I don't think we'll get worse than that. I'd be disappointed to lose the game, although it's not easy. They've got a big Russian. Now that I am right, aren't I? Haven't they just got a big Russian centre half? The guy
Ukrainian.
with the top knot. Yeah.
Ukrainian. Unless
he's Ukrainian. Oh, fuck me! I'll get me nationality. Right, I'm out.
I'm sure he loved doing that, didn't he?
Put the timer up, Joe. I'm out of here.
I thought he was Bulgarian, actually.
No, he's Ukrainian.
Ukrainian.
Paul, go to you next.
Russian. Anyway, so Ukrainian versus the big Serb. Not quite the same fit as I was hoping for.
No.
I'm sure they'll have a good battle up there.
Cheers, Disco. Paul, coming to you next. Read his comment first, though, Paul. Tomorrow is an acid test for if we can get the consistency we always lack. Typical Millwall, beat Leeds, and 2 years later lose to the bottom team. This is where we need to have consistency. Would you agree with that point? And obviously, what's your thoughts on that? Yeah,
spot on, mate. They do seem. I like Jeff's comment. I don't know if you put that up. I see that come up as well. Where he said about he'd rather play someone where he'd rather play them when they're on a high than on a low, because if we go and they've not won in ages, then I agree 100%. You just, when you expect to win, you don't. Where we go there and their new manager has got them playing, big motivational speaker. But the fact they've beat Liverpool, they've got Man City away in the cup. I'm hoping we can kind of get in and get amongst them, and they're not going to fancy it. The Russian Ukrainian centre half's going to have an off day, and we're going to come home with 3 points.
Can't make his mind up. No. Yeah. Ukrainian, Russian, same thing. Oh God.
Oh dear.
So I just go and have this.
Brilliant.
Yeah. Great bit of business there, and more money to spend in the summer. Hopefully, talk about money. Part of that money, which we got from the essays sales, we're led to believe, went to the purchase pool of the acquisition of Calmot Road training ground. Obviously, reading London News Online, Mill completed the freehold purchase of the Calmot Road training facilities. This acquisition eliminates the club's annual rental expenses and dependence on external funding. Significant investments have been made to improve the pitches, including new stitching, drainage systems. Plans are also underway to upgrade facilities for the players and the staff, such as new recovery suites, physio, changing rooms, and office spaces. I mean, it all sounds pretty excited, and it seems like very, it's been long overdue from what I'm hearing at Calmot Road. What do you make of that?
It's great news. It's great news. To start with, just the fact we've got someone, just that they're considering it, because we've never really been a club that have done that. Like, obviously, we sold it off and we've been renting it back. But I love the fact that, obviously, I'm assuming it's more of a JB thing, JB Junior. And he's thinking, well, why am I renting it? Why am I, like, we got money, and why would I? Why am I giving someone else money for something? Just that mentality, yeah. And it's the same with the players he wants. He doesn't want to just be, why am I just giving you money and then what? And then you walk away. I want something back. So I love all that. It's nowhere near the size of West Kingsdown, and I'm a bit gutted because that was the dream, and I did kind of buy into that and think, right, well, I can just picture it now. I've seen QPR's training ground; it's ridiculous, and it was a similar size to that what we had. But I think that was John Berylson's dream, and I think what Jimmy wants might be slightly different. And even if it's not, it buys us time, doesn't it? At the end of the day, we've got the lease was running out next summer, and rather than do that, hopefully we're gonna build it up, get some recovery suites and stuff, maybe a Nando's in there, and give the players what they want.
Exactly. And I guess stay with yourself, Paul, for a second. What does the future hold now for West Kingsdown training facilities? I mean, can you see that being squashed? Again, reading the Southwark News on the back of that news was the development of the new training ground in West Kingsdown, Kent, has faced challenges due to high rising costs, logistical considerations. While planning for permission was granted, the project has been hampered by global inflation and increasing construction expenses. The club is exploring in initiatives and solutions to advance the project, but it's not setting specific deadlines for its progression. So at the moment, it's kind of been put on hold. Can you see that just being quashed now, and then we focus on Calmot Road for the near now and the future?
Going back in time, at the fans forum start of the season, both Mark Fairbrother and Steve Gallen pointed out that they're different issues. So Fairbrother said that it's the money, but their plan is at some point to maybe, rather than just this big exotic building where we had everyone there, they was going to do it bit by bit. And I think that's going to be the plan if we get to the Premier League at some point. I think that will pay. We're not going to go out and spend a load of money. That will be what we get out of it, which I'm all for anyway. Steve Gallen was more worried about the catchment areas for the youth, because if you go up and you get out that area, you're going to lose a lot of young kids. And I know parents take kids everywhere, but it's another barrier to put in the way of, do you go to Tottenham or Millwall or Charlton or wherever? So
because am I right in thinking it's not a radius, it's actually a time travel, isn't it? It has to be within 1 hour commute for the player. So,
but there's all types of stuff that, I mean, like Man City sign our kids then and stuff. So I don't really understand it. They must have bases around, or
well, I've heard what they do here. They actually buy houses for their family. I know it sounds ridiculous saying this, but they do for youngsters. They actually buy a small house for the mum and dad to move up with the kids to be within an hour commute of Man City's training grounds. And if it works out, great. If it doesn't, then they're kicked out, basically. I don't know if they actually buy a house or they rent a house, but they actually do buy it. I know this for a friend of mine whose son was at Norwich, and Norwich done exactly the same thing. They put them up in a place for Norwich like 2 or 3 years, and then eventually the kid broke into the the kind of youth setup, if you like. But that's what I'm saying. There's loopholes for it. It's incredible, really. And I guess to your point there, Paul, you're down in Kingsdown. You've got the A2, M2 into London, but it doesn't quite capture the south or the central part of London, which means you're going to miss out on the likes of your Roman essays.
A lot of the kids,
exactly.
All the ones that have left.
Exactly.
And at a time when we're giving them a platform, you don't want to be doing that. So I do understand.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if we'll end up shelving it, mate. But we've had to sign a load of paperwork saying it's going to be done green and correctly, and so I don't think we can just sell the land on either. I'm not sure what'll happen, but. Yeah, that's for people higher up than us, mate.
Yeah, exactly. Disco coming to you next. What you make of that? Obviously, great news. We use that SA money we led to believe, and a bit of the ZM money to purchase Calmont Road. But what does that sort of say to us, sort of short, medium, long term now with the plans go ahead with Kingsdown Road, West Kingsdown, in your opinion?
Yeah. I was never sure about West Kingsdown because it's over in Paris, isn't it?
Oh right, sorry, yeah. it's West.
Did you see what I did there?
Yeah. It is. Yeah.
No. Being serious. Look, as I think, like Paul said, West Kingsdown sounded fantastic, didn't it? All mega facilities, all mod cons. Starting to put us to another level. But the reality of that is it's already you've missed some of it, Jeff.
Sorry, Jeff. I think you're about 15 minutes behind. Maybe you might want to click on your YouTube. I think there's a button you press live. It just moves you along a little bit. I think you're a little bit behind at the moment.
I just educated everybody on nationalities within football, Jeff. So have a look. But no, look. So I think it was a great dream, but the reality is there's a lot of obstacles and a lot of cost involved. So probably they've taken a more pragmatic approach to say, hang on a minute, it's still going to cost a lot of money, isn't it, to do up Calmont Road, but probably sensible investment. And let's be honest, as long as you get some decent facilities that Paul has mentioned there, the main thing being the quality of the pitches as well as all the other facilities, that would certainly do us for now. And again, as Paul says, maybe come the day we get our dream and get into the Premiership, we could spend some of that multi-millions on something even better and bigger and better. But yeah, look, it's good news. It's still decent that we're going to have. We own it ourselves, and we're going to develop it to make it pretty special, which will be good.
Absolutely. And Jesper, coming to yourself, just to end off with regards to the acquisition of Calmont Road. I mean, players, I spoke to in the past have mentioned about, in a joking way, but in a kind of serious way as well, how poor the training facilities have been at Millwall. I think the pitch has improved. I think as part of the lease agreement, I think we actually paid for a new training pitch because I think the way it drained off was terrible from the sounds of it, But some players, without naming names, who actually left us now, made comments about how bad our pitches were and facilities compared to clubs in League One, let alone in our clubs in the Championship. So it just shows you how bad we were. This purchase now is hopefully going to bring the training facilities to the level where it needs to be at. And the good thing is, it's not just started there. It started previously. I think that the changing rooms at the Den has improved massively in the last sort of season or so. That's really come along as well. Not so much the away changing rooms, but, it gives a fuck about the away team. But the home changing room looks really nice. I know the players really responded well to that. I really appreciated that. So this is only going to help the players, Jesper, don't you think, in training? They spent a lot of time at Calmont Road with the training. It's going to help attract new players come in as well, I guess. Seeing there's lots of positives is what I'm saying, isn't there?
There should be. I don't know too much about our training facilities, to be honest. I've only seen it from clips and so on. And but the clubhouse, as far as I can see, you know, it's nothing compared to what you see the bigger teams have. But I don't think we need to build sort of a massive spaceship of a training center to be competitive. It's just more upgrading the facilities. I saw a documentary with a day with Thomas Frank, the Danish person, the manager for Brentford. and they show the training facilities at Brentford, and they look decent, but nothing where I thought, wow, they've spent millions and millions on this. So I think it's about upgrading our facilities and maybe adding some extra facilities, as I think it's been mentioned in that statement as well, improving the pitches as well. Whenever I see highlights from the under-21s, I look at the pitch and think, God, it's bloody awful. It looks like one of the winter pitches we were training on here when I was a kid. So that definitely needs an upgrade. I think the pitches must be priority number one, and then facilities afterwards. And that can be done for, I think, a fair amount of money. It would cost a bit. But I don't think you need to spend millions and millions to improve that. So, yeah.
And also,
sorry.
That's right, but also just going back to your point, when you look at the under-21s playing, and you look at the way it's set up, it's like a public park, isn't it? You've got a wide fence there where anyone can look through. You could have opposition teams watching training sessions and spying on us if they wanted to. So I'm guessing what will happen now is that they got the license, to kind of create. Build better security, higher walls if you want, and a bit more sort of in-house rather than let it feel like it's a park at the moment. Because that's how it probably is at the moment. So it's all.
My only comment, Joe, was I lived at Motspur Park when I lived in London, and I went past Fulham's training ground, and you could actually also just walk past and see them play there from time to time. So it's not just us. I would say if you're based in central London, that's what's going to happen.
You're right.
Time to time.
But even that's changed. To your point, it's very true. But even that's changed. Now the security is so tight there. They've got it's really kind of like restricted and covered up. You can't go in. You can't see anything. So. I guess this is all going to help us. I mean, the small things, not going to make a huge difference, but it's just going to bring us against that level where we're going to be recognised as a decent club, with decent training facilities. And I keep saying that this is going to help us attract players. Especially we've got money now to spend on players. This is going to make a big deciding factor on players where they choose, where they go to. Sometimes players choose Sunderland over us purely because of the stadium, the training facilities, all these sort of things. So having that in our armour and our kink in our armour, it will certainly help us, won't it?
Definitely,
guys. We're coming to the end of the live show. We've covered off quite a bit. I guess there is something we want to mention. Disco. We talked about this before, guys. In the chat before we end the live tonight, the question is what has been your favourite FA Cup moment supporting Millwall? Put it in the chat. Show your age, and let us know what your favourite FA Cup moment was, in your opinion. It'd be interesting to read those comments out shortly. But before we kind of go to the chat, start with you, Jesper. What's your favourite FA Cup moment?
Has to be 2004, hasn't it? I mean, I would say. As Paul Ifield said, I think the semi-final was probably the highlight, because when we got to the final, we probably knew we weren't going to beat Man United. They had such a good team at that time, but it was phenomenal just to get there. But that day, I will never forget where I was and where I watched the game. It was just fantastic.
Where were you?
Lucky. I was at in Silkeborg, it's called. It's a small town where I used to go to football college. So I watched it in my room. Yeah, that day.
Is it, sorry, in Denmark, I take it, yeah?
In Denmark, yeah.
Right, okay, yeah.
I was only 18 at that time, so...
Yeah.
So, it was just a perfect day. But we've had some good FA Cup runs, and I also remember when we went to... I was lucky enough to be in London when we were in the semis. Was it 2014 against Wigan? Went to that one as well. Unfortunately, lost out, but... We've had some good runs over the last couple of 15, 20 years, I think. But 2004 stands out for me. And the fact that we got to Europe as well. Had we won that game and got into the group stage, how phenomenal would that have been? I hope to see that one day. Let's see.
And Jesper, do you have a favourite goal, a favourite Millwall goal from the FA Cup you can think of?
Oh, from the FA Cup.
can come back if you want to have a think.
We'll just let's go around and I'll come back to that one.
And same in the chat. Same in the chat.
Yeah, definitely. But yourself, Disco, what's your favourite moment in the FA Cup for Mill's history?
Look. In recent times, you've got to say Everton, which I might come back to. The Leicester was just phenomenal. I wasn't at those games, but just watching it at home, the atmosphere sounded electric in both games, and they were phenomenal. But I think, like a lot are putting in there, and it's a bit scary. Did you see that before? The goal I mentioned at Palace was 1984-85. 40 years ago.
Wow.
Hell, show me age. Yeah. See, that's why I can't remember all these countries. And
you can't
very
remember,
old man.
Disco, you can't remember or you don't want to remember. You might to remind yourself how old you are.
I don't think I want to remember. It's probably the truth. But 40 years ago. But I'm with Jesper.
Wow.
The semi-final at Old Trafford, 4th for the 4th, 2004. Watching grown men next to me cry their eyes out and thinking we're in a FA Cup final was just unbelievably off the scale. So that has to be it. The best goal, though, I think the goal that obviously the Tim Cahill goal was phenomenal. The bomber volley at Tranmere in the quarterfinal was off the scale. But I think Murray Wallace against Everton, offside. Was it offside or handball? One of the two.
Cares?
When it was up on the screen and Bombers saying, I can get that off.
Yeah.
That was a priceless goal, and what a moment that was. So, the Everton winner and 2004, the win were my two great moments.
One that just pops into mind as well was the, I don't know why I just remember that one, the Aston Villa game where we won 2-1 in injury time. I think John Marquis scored the winner. I think we were 1-0 down. Shitsu equalised, and then we scored. I think into injury time and won 2-1, and just the stadium went mental. That one was brilliant as well on a Friday night. Even surprised.
Unbelievable. Disco. Before we go to Paul, do you remember this game?
Oh yeah.
Do you? Did you notice that?
I'll tell you what. That who forgets it? Anytime there's a bit of trouble, that video's on, in it.
Always comes up.
Dragged through the coals again. And look, to be honest. That could have been another Hillsborough. The reality is nobody ever says that. That could have been a Hill. We were fractions from going on the pitch. We're deciding, do you go on the pitch and sort of survive or take?
Was you there? Was you there, Disco?
Yeah.
Oh, he was. Oh, wow. Okay. I wasn't there. I only saw footage.
Apart from the result, but but that was memorable, Chris. You're right. Very memorable.
Was Hillsborough the same year as Luton, or was that when was that in 80?
No, it was later.
Was it 87 or
90?
No, later. I think
89.
1991. I think
late 80s, 90, wasn't it? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, anyways.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what. Sorry, Paul. Come to Paul. But already, look at the memories we've had from the FA Cup. We've got a great tradition, haven't we, in the FA Cup, without a doubt. A long way to continue this season.
Yeah. Paul, what's your favourite moment from the FA Cup?
Yeah, I mean, you've named all mine basically already, but it is weird because I was thinking about it when you mentioned it. The semi-final's got to be the one for me, being at Old Trafford, having some grown man screaming in my face. Literally, weren't even watching the game. Just screaming in my face, and my whole family are like just staring at him. He's like, "Come on!" Going mad. But that's number one. I'd say I was actually at Arsenal away, Highbury. I was only 9, but I remember that, like, just walking around outside and being with my dad and stuff. That's always stuck in my head. And I would also put like the Everton game and the atmosphere. Then I put all of that ahead of the FA Cup final, which is really weird thing to say, isn't it? But the FA Cup final just. It seemed like that was the non-event after the semi-final. But, loads of great memories.
Just mentioned there, beating Arsenal away and then Chelsea away in the cup with Casey Keller pulled off those saves, didn't he, for us, which was amazing. For me, my favourite moment, for me, has got to be this one. Arsenal away, 2-0, when Mark Kennedy goes through and Tay Adams is chasing him down, and you just see him smash this ball past England number 1 at the time, David Seaman, top bins. Oh, what an amazing! And he does this amazing celebration. I remember it when he sort of flips over as well, doesn't he? Does like a little somersault as well. It's just Incredible time. And for me, what made it even better for me at the time was my dad's an Arsenal fan, and so is my younger brother as well. He's sort of followed my dad, well, I didn't. And of course, you can imagine watching that game, the rivalry in the house, to go and smash it 2-0. Oh, it was incredible moment. So that's pretty much it, guys. But just before we end off, just go through the chat very, very quickly, see if there's any additional ones in there. So let's have a quick look. Where are we?
89 Hillsborough, they're saying in the chat. 89. You're
right. Was it 89? Was it?
Yeah,
okay, I thought it was 1991, but you're right. Yeah, it might have been around that time.
No one liked us, as said. Yeah.
Okay. So Harris against Tranmere. Side from Old Trafford, Leicester 1-0. It's true, 10 men. Kitchen equalising against Yeovil 1975. Wow. Yeah. Fair play, Andy. Brilliant.
Is that my time?
Yeah. Who's that picture of there on Andy's profile? Is that Andy himself from 1975?
Don't know.
Could be. Craig, best ever cup goal, a tie between Kennedy and Arsenal, and Harris and Tranmere. You're right. I was there, Old Trafford, Muscat, Cahill. Yeah.
Do you know on that, as much as you say, and you're right, we went to the cup final knowing we didn't really have a chance. But, I think if we'd have had a full team, I'd have fancied us to give them a game. You had Dicchio out, Muscat out, didn't you?
Yeah.
Andy Roberts was out.
Yeah, Paul Ifill says to this day, he's quite confident, and even Ronnie Ball speaking to him recently as well, if we had Danny Dicchio playing in that game, we would have won it, because what happened was, I think they had to play Harris as a lone striker, didn't they? Because they lost their target man. And because we didn't have a target man or an outlet, we couldn't play the 4-4-2 the way we were playing. So because of that, I think Wisey came in, we played like a 4-5-1 formation, and Harris was a lone striker. It didn't quite work out for us, did it, unfortunately? So they do say if Dicchio was fit, and Muscat, but more so Dicchio, we would have had a focal point to aim for up front. And I think Dicchio at the time was doing really well for us, winning headers and
United had a mega team, didn't they? I mean, the Scout,
the players they had, Van Nistelrooy, Scholes, Keane. Oh, unbelievable! Unbelievable. The Blackburn away when Schutter hit a shot from about 40 yards. I don't think did it actually go in?
It was a header.
No. I don't think it went in. Away, didn't he? It was a header away. Yeah, good goal. By the way.
Yeah.
I think in the home game he had a shot from about 40 yards. I don't know if he scored or not. I don't think he scored. Did he?
I don't think he scored. I remember the shot. It didn't actually go in, but it was a hell of a shot, wasn't it? From about 50 yards out. Keeps going further and further. 30 yards, 40, 50, 60 yards. It was a goal. It was a goal kick. Well, it was a goal kick.
How old you were.
A lot of love for Sunderland. Semi-final. To be fair, Hillsborough was 89. Yeah. Luton game. We had 10,000 fans trying to get in. It was all ticket. Wow. It was going to end this last year. Love the old FA Cup.
And wasn't Plymouth beating Liverpool great for the FA Cup, to be fair, this weekend? Wasn't it?
It is. Yeah.
It really is still the premium.
It brings that back again, doesn't it? You're right. Yeah. That's what the FA Cup was about, wasn't it? It was about, any small team could beat a giant team. It was about giant killings, weren't it? And it just meant on your day, anything could happen. We look at Wimbledon. Was that 89, Wimbledon? When they beat Liverpool?
88, 89.
88, 89,
Yes, 88. Yeah, 88. Day I got married that year.
Was it?
Yeah, we were on a plane to America for my honeymoon.
And he said, to that one, disco.
That
was his picture. Wow, from 75. Oh, God. Excellent. Guys.
A bit lively, wasn't it, that one? Yeah.
You brought a Mark McCammon, that's right. I remember that. Oh, yeah.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, and Robert says, totally agree with Dicchio and 4-4-2. We'll definitely have scored.
He got sent off at Forest, didn't he, a couple of weeks before and got suspended. And it was I think it was Wes. Who was the black centre half who went to Leicester? Was it Wes Young or Wes someone? I think it was
him. No, that's way too old.
From Millwall?
Dicchio had a punch up with. Was it? I'm not sure it was that centre half.
Wes Morgan.
Was it? Would it have been Wes?
I thought that would be before me. That would have been before me. So I don't know, mate. That seems
you know
like
how
a long
I
time
am
ago,
on
doesn't it?
history and
Yeah.
geography.
It was actually a Japanese right winger, but
Correct. Oh, that's him.
So I'll
Takamoto.
put there Morgan. Alex says, just
Morganio.
reminded me here, Joe, I think the John Marcus winner versus Villa scored on the same end as your goal.
Oh.
Do you need me to remind you what goal he's talking about? Or... No? You're right, yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
We've hit Palace at Den 75. Wow, in the cup. Bloody hell. Marvin Elliott. So Marvin Elliott came in, played right back, didn't he? That game. He had to mark Ryan Giggs, didn't he, for against United?
Did he?
He did.
Yeah. I think we are there, guys. No one likes us. Just a great show, guys. Hit the like if you haven't already done so, guys. Yeah, absolutely, guys. We're going to be wrapping up now, but please, if you're still with us in the chat, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. If you haven't subscribed yet to this channel. Again, everything we make for this channel goes to Cancer Research UK. At the end of the season, Chris will announce how much money we've raised, and we're doing a couple of things leading up as the season progresses to try and raise even more money for Cancer Research UK. Everything will be announced in due course, of course. So before we wrap up, Paul, anything you want to mention and say before we end off? And guys, sorry, in the chat, what's your prediction for the for tomorrow's game? Sorry, while we're waiting. Go on. Sorry, Paul.
That's right, mate. Couple of bits. So, Millwall striker Danny Dichio missed the FA Cup final after an off-the-ball incident against Nottingham Forest's Wes Morgan. So you was right. The old brain still got it.
Redeemed.
The old brain's still working. Just about. It's like you open
thanks, Paul. You got me out of that,
didn't you, Paul? You open a drawer. You're looking for a dodgy sock. So you open your drawer. Where's not that one? It's not in that one. It's in that one. It's the fourth drawer, isn't it? He found it. Got it. Yeah.
Paul, just check. I'm sure Thomas Frank is half Austrian as well. I'm sure. Have a look at that. Oh, brilliant. Thanks, Paul. Appreciate it.
Maybe his big toe is.
Yeah. No worries.
Cheers,
yeah,
Paul. Thanks, mate. Thanks, mate.
Thanks for
prediction for tomorrow.
Even the people listening, because like technically they could be watching Man City v Real Madrid, and instead they're listening to us and taking part of the show. So it's the fact that they're all in here.
Yeah.
Or they could be multitasking. Who knows?
Yeah.
Most of them men, apart from Rosalind, there's no one in here can multitask. So, but no, cheers. 2-0 win. A couple of your lines from Danny. No one likes us going 1-1 tomorrow. Andy Herbert says, I'm down Plymouth way. We've got 4 Millwall, 2 Plymouth lads in the back of the van. Good on you, lads.
Good on, Andy.
Andy Roberts says, Palace, we drew at home, then lost replay in 75. Bloody hell, good memory. Well done, Andy. 1-1 Tango to score. Gary says, Joe, new shirt in frame. That one? That one, yeah. I've got this thing, Gary, where every time I sponsor a player, they end up getting sold. So I had ZM Fleming. He fucked off a year later. I then sponsored Essay. He fucked off. And now I've got Tanganga.
Hell.
I've jinxed it, didn't I?
Players.
Maybe I should get Langstaff shirt, shouldn't I? If I buy Langstaff, then you might go for like 2 million this summer. Colin Taylor says, thanks, lads. Another great show. 2-0 Lions. Tomorrow we roll on. Manu. Craig says 3-0 to Millwall. Neck would score the first for Millwall. You know what? I fancy that. I fancy Neck scoring, to be honest with you. Roslyn says, Ovs. I didn't know she's still here. But she agrees with me for once anyway. So you're right. She can multitask. None of us in this chat can multitask, unfortunately. Sorry, lads, but it's just facts, isn't it? Jeff says, what does multitask mean? Exactly. Gary, 1-0. Hopefully that's Gary 1-0 Millwall. Chris says, who the fuck are Real Madrid? Anyway, exactly. 3-0 Millwall case after the Lord Mayor show for Plymouth. Nice one, Nick. Hope you're well, Nick. Hope you and your boys Jack's doing okay. And Andy Roberts says 3-1 Wall on already. Wow, fair play. Disco, anything you want to end off before we wrap up? And we'll go to Jessica last.
I think like Paul, look, thanks to the listeners for tuning in. This is nothing without their contributions. It's great to hear some of their comments and what have you. So brilliant on that. Look, without getting too soppy, I'd like to thank the team and the manager for Saturday. That was absolutely fantastic. And boy, have we got our Millwall back. And in fact, we're probably going into a new era, which it looks like, which is a great time to be a Millwall fan. Tomorrow, my head says 1-1. My heart, I think we might nick a little 2-1 cheeky win away, which would be fantastic. So looking forward to that. And good luck to the 400 and odd who are going down there tomorrow. Make sure you're loud and proud, boys and
Absolutely.
girls. And transgenders.
And transgenders. And theys and thems and all the rest of it. Exactly. Paul, did we get your prediction, Paul?
Well, hold on, why are you saying them and thems? I'm not them. No, we didn't get any. I'm gonna go with a 1-0 Millwall win. Camel Negley.
Yeah.
And I don't know if anyone's seen the results tonight, but without jinxing it, they're all going our way at the minute. Got Coventry and QPR drawing. You've got Watford got spanked 4-0 home to Leeds, and Preston have beaten Norwich away 1-0. So
brilliant. There you go.
Win tomorrow, mate. Go. Massive.
No pronouns in here, please, Joe. Don't you worry about that, Jeff. Don't you worry about that, mate. Cheers, Paul. Cheers, Paul. Cheers, Disco. And Jesper, coming to you. Anything you want to end off before we wrap up?
No, I just
get the llamas. Bless the llamas.
I just think what a difference a month make. I mean, we were sat here in January and thought, fucking hell, sorry, my language, but we're not bringing anyone in. We can't score a goal. Where are we heading? And now,
true.
We can drop our shoulders a bit. We can play with a bit of freedom tomorrow. We're looking up the table. We're looking like a side who can actually win games, who can score goals. And I don't want to become too positive because it is Millwall, but we just look at different side now. It's not the usual Millwall where we, the way we play now, and we are just set up. And one thing is we're starting to look aside who can really attack teams now, but we are still defensively very solid. We won 3 games away from home, and we haven't conceded a single goal. That is a testament to how good we're performing at the moment. So I'm very confident about tomorrow. I'm going to go 2-0.
I love it.
Quality.
Brilliant, Alex. Now I'm going to go 2-0 tomorrow, and it's purely on what I've seen in the last couple of games and how we play. And Plymouth, they have conceded by far the most goals in the league. 63 goals they've conceded, and they've only scored 29. So there has to be something there for us to get tomorrow. So, I'm going to go 2-0, remain positive. We've got so many good options tomorrow, so it'll be interesting to see how we line up and how we approach the game. But looking forward to it. Can't wait to tune in tomorrow.
I know it's not often we look forward to these games rather than dread them. Who's your goal scorer, Jesper?
But I don't know who's going to play tomorrow. I think Ivanovic's going to get one. Ivanovic tomorrow, and then maybe Kasper.
Yeah. I'm going to go for a 2-0 win. Clean sheet again. Obviously, Tanganga, Cooper at the back. These guys been immense. And I'm going to go for a Negley goal. I agree with Paul. I fancy Negley scoring. And I think my boy Bangura Williams, he didn't play much of the last game, so he'll be rested. He'll be fresh to go. Hopefully, he'll get a run in the number 10 role. And maybe they might rest Kundal for this one. I think I can see him scoring as well. I think he's due a goal. So, I'm hoping 2-0. Also, guys, bit of info here for you as well. Saturday, we're at home against West Brom. We actually got only one home game in our next 7 at home.
Yep.
A lot of them are all away from home. So it'll be a very, very tough schedule. You're absolutely spot on there. So, again, why we need a big squad of players, and I think we've got that now. So I hope we can ride the challenge. Lots of travelling, lots of miles going to be covering up and down the country, of course, So let's hope we can keep this winning run going. And who knows, let's try and push up and cement one of our places in the playoff spots.
Let's hope they don't get me to drive the coach, eh?
Yeah, exactly. Mia, Aziz, and Kasper, brilliant. Rosnick Conley to score if he plays. Yeah, I love that. Guys, we're done. Over an hour and a half. Thank you so much, guys, in the chat for being with us tonight. Really appreciate it. Like Disco said earlier, this channel is nothing without you guys. So we really do appreciate your input. We appreciate all the likes and the shares and subscribes. really does make a big difference to us. And of course, we're all doing a good thing here for Cancer Research UK to raise lots of money. Thank you to Paul. Thank you to Disco. Thank you for Jesper for giving up your time so generously this evening to talk Millwall. And I really appreciate all your thoughts and your comments there. And guys, until next week, thank you very much. Enjoy tomorrow's game. Make sure if you're not going to be there, watch it live. Make sure you watch it on the TV and enjoy it. Hopefully, we'll get another win in the bag and keep pushing upwards. So from me, bye for now. Bye for the rest of the guys, and we'll catch you soon. All the best. See you later.
Hi, it's Steve Morrison here, and you're listening to Chat with Chaps, chatting Millwall, come rain or shine.